seal with this. It's just
okay, let's go. This Farbrengen was from Purim Tafshin Tezayin, and I want to learn the first sikh over here. This is a sikh you need to learn if you feel like you're not ready for Purim. This sikh tells you what getting ready for Purim really means, and how Purim is not something you can get ready for. Purim is not something you get ready for, and therefore no such thing as getting ready for. Let's go. Duber ben shana she'ava shekim she'Purim tzrich liyas simcha ad liyada. Ma'adi lagwala. Az gam ma'achan leze eina chayav esliyas be'efan sha'adag lichem dagal dag. Last year, we spoke about it.
Link to this, or whatever you got it.
I sent it.
Oh, you did? Oh, where did you send it? Did you send it to some kind of a 6-story school or something?
I sent it to your WhatsApp. So, since Purim has to be beyond limitations, therefore the way to prepare for Purim is not meant to be in an orderly way. Slowly. Because the thing you're trying to reach is not something connected to logic. If the place you needed to reach was a place that was connected to logic, so then you needed to go in order. Like if you wanted to, let's say, to learn Gemara, you have to learn how to read Aleph Beis and the Kudis, how to read, and know how to read Mishnah, and what Mishnah means. Then you can learn Gemara. Except for in Rabbi Reber's Daf Yemishir, where things are beyond Agbola. People come from the street.
40 years.
That's a general system. If it's something which is logical, you have to attain a understanding of something. It is steps. But what Purim is about is initial adaloya. Purim is about reaching somewhere which is beyond logic and reason. The since you have to jump anyways, therefore you're able to jump to begin with without any preparations. It doesn't matter when you're going to make that jump. In the beginning of the Rebbe is saying this by this Farbrengen. Whether you're going to start the Farbrengen this way, in the middle of the Farbrengen, the end of the Farbrengen, anyway, you're going to have to jump. To reach Purim means jumping beyond logic and reason. So to get there, you're not getting any closer by preparations. It's kind of like there was a chassid that used to say that compared to the infinite light of Hashem, grub is not more distant, and edel isn't closer. Coarse isn't more distant, and refined isn't closer, because it's infinite. So you're supposed to reach infinite. So you don't need a preparation to get to infinite. Whatever you're going to do, you're not getting close. Like you can count. Let's say a simple example. You're counting. You count by millions, count by billions, count by trillions. No matter how you're counting, 1 trillion, 2 trillion, whatever, you're not getting close to infinite. Purim is the union of reaching a place in yourself which is beyond logic. You're not going to get there by thinking slowly and intimately about the greatness of Hashem. That's not what Purim is. Closing the Purim. The whole idea of Purim, and in general, the whole month of Adar, is not in a way of step by step. Rather, Purim is about minakotza lakotza. There was a transformation from one extreme to another. So the Jewish people went from it being impossible for them to be saved for what they were going through, to suddenly being able to rule over their enemies. They're in a state where, as it was simply at the time the miracle took place, instead of there being a decree against them, they should be destroyed and they should be killed. Those people upon whom the decree was made, they received the power. Instead of being killed by their enemies, they should destroy their enemies. So it's complete a change from one extreme to another extreme. They're going from being the item of destruction to the ones who are empowered to destroy their enemies. So it's complete transformation. So if Purim is a transformation from being destroyed to being overcoming your enemies and ruling over your enemies, So it's understood also that what we're supposed to do on Purim, which Purim happens every single year. It says in Megillah that Purim will never leave the Jewish people. Then Purim will never leave them the memory of the Jewish people. It's not like all other holidays where there's preparation for it and you go step by step into it. Rather, Purim is a complete instantaneous transformation. They're going from, like, Haman is invited to Achashverosh to destroy the Jewish people, and they're supposed to be destroyed. That the very same day they're supposed to be destroyed, but not bechu, they're destroying their enemies. It's on the 13th of Adar, the day that all the Jews are supposed to be killed. It's transformed. So every year on Purim, Hashem gives us a similar thing. The service of Hashem and Purim is not going step by step, level to level preparation. Rather, it's transformation from one extreme to another. That means we don't reckon with the situation in which we are in. Rather, instantaneously, we reach Oimik Roim. Oimik Roim means the depth of the heights, the highest possible level, the ultimate good. Immediately, we reach the level of ultimate good. And that's something you can only reach in this world. It says in Torah, Alter Rebbe says that the world to come is a world of clarity. And therefore, everything has its place. And if you're meant to be in one place, you can't be in a different place. That's the world to come. You wherever level you reach in this world, that's a level you're awarded in the world to come. Your neshama is able to handle some kind of light of Hashem in the world to come, and that's the light you're going to get, not anything different, not any more or less. So Elam Border, it's a clear world. However, in this world, we have an advantage that the infinite light of Hashem shines in this world. In order to create the physical reality of this world, so it's not sufficient to have the light of Hashem that animates Gan Eden, that animates spiritual worlds. To traverse the gap between the spiritual and the physical, there has to be the infinite light of Hashem. And therefore, in this world, we find this concept of tshuva. You can't do tshuva in Gan Eden. Gan Eden, there's no such thing as tshuva. In Eden, you go every day, step by step, higher and higher, but you never can have this power of truth to go from one extreme to another extreme. It doesn't exist. Only says the Alter Rebbe, in this world, since there's the infinite light of Hashem, which powers the transformation from the spiritual to the physical, therefore, only here do we have the ability to make this transformation. Especially, this is true on Purim, which is the day of transformation from one extreme to another. This world is blessed with this power of instantaneous transformation, because again, in this world there is a revelation of the infinite light of Hashem. That's why the physical world can exist, and therefore we're empowered in this world specifically to reach the highest level of good, which you can't reach in the higher worlds. And that's especially true on the day of Purim, because Purim is a day when Hashem reveals this light of Hashem in the transformation that they experience then from Emek Tochas to Emek Rim, from the lowest to the low to highest heights. You have it, Yassi? Mm-hmm. Okay, next page. When there's something shining, like the sun, says the Talmud, the sun shines in the whole world equally. It is. See that next paragraph, it's over.
Oh, I'm just looking over the pages. So that's not it.
The sun shines in the whole world equally. And it's reflected in everything that it shines upon. The sun is reflected in the same way in one drop of rain, one drop of water, the very same way it's reflected in the great ocean. The same sun is reflected in the drop of rain as it is in the great ocean. So we have Dave LaBelle, who's opening up his Zoom, and he is looking at today's Purim in the valley, and we're looking at Purim in Los Angeles. Others are looking at Purim in Nova Scotia. But the sun shines everywhere equally, and it shines into each person equally. So that means that the transformation that I was speaking about is something that we all receive the same way. We're all getting the light of Purim, like the light of the sun, and it shines in the whole world equally. In every moment of Purim, in every detail of Purim, there is reflected this idea of transformation from one extreme to another. So it's not like you need to wait until you get to a certain point of Purim, and then there is this transformational energy from one extreme to another. Rather, in every detail of Purim, there's a reflection of this infinite light of Purim, of transformation. You don't have to demand from yourself preparation. Don't be hard on yourself. Say, oh, you know what? Purim arrived. I wasn't really ready for it. I didn't prepare for it. And therefore, I'm not going to reach this year the place where I want to reach spiritually. Because if I would have learned Chassidus before, I would have Gemara, I would have learned the halachas, and then I'll get into Purim, then I'll get to Purim. So you got the wrong holiday. It's not how Purim works. Don't demand of yourself preparations which aren't necessary, which won't help you. Since Hashem demands of us this idea of transformation, so it must be God who grants us the ability to, if Hashem asks us on this day to go from emiktochas to emikreim, go the depth of the lowliness to the depth of heights. If we're supposed to transform from the lowest place to the highest place, how could Hashem ask us to do this if He didn't grant us the ability to do this? So it must be the Eibusher gives us the ability to make this transformation, and that's why He is asking us to. It says in Gemara, God does not come with trickery to His creation, so He's asking us to just completely change from going all the way down to the highest heights. It must be that there's something in this day that Hashem grants us to accomplish this. And it's not something that you needed to do before Purim. Again, it's not something we're talking about. It's such a powerful change that it's not something that you could possibly prepare for and make a vessel for. It's Ein Sof, it's infinite. Chaim. Whoa, gotta go somewhere.
Yeah, 100%. Now.
So too regarding this bringing. Don't think you come to Farbrengen to warm yourself up a little bit, slowly. You have to wait a little while until you're on the fire of the Farbrengen, so to speak, until you get excited. You're able to suddenly sizzle with excitement. In one moment, instantaneously. And then use that out for the rest of the Farbrengen. In other words, start right now. The Farbrengen just started. So immediately get yourself to that place you need to be, to the Adla Yoda place, and then you're able to use that energy for the whole Farbrengen, and therefore go somewhere with this Farbrengen. Practically. Say l'chaim now with a varmkeit. Sing a nigga fredig and with a sturm. So that the beginning of the Farbrengen, you already have the whole full energy as if you're in the middle of the Farbrengen. And there was said, since we just spoke about how you don't need to have preparation, you don't have to wait for the song to start until everyone finishes saying l'chaim. You start with the nigun at the same time people are saying l'chaim. So start the nigun right away without preparations. So you see the analogy that Rebbe is saying. It's an analogy. I'm saying practically. Start the nigun now. Don't wait to sing the nigun. That what we're supposed to achieve over here is something that doesn't require anything. It just needs us to. It sounds like very similar to the language of chapter 47 in Tanya. The Alter Rebbe says regarding our cleaving to Hashem and Shema. Alter Rebbe says that whenever you say Shema, you say Hashem Echad. As long as you want to cleave to Hashem, you are cleaving to Hashem. Unless Alter Rebbe says you don't want to cleave to Hashem, but if you're saying Shema, you say Hashem Echad, you want to cleave to Hashem, you are cleaving to Hashem. That's where you're going. So in a similar way, it seems like we just have to want to go there. We just want to go. We just decide we want to go. We want to go there. We want to go to Adla Yoda. What's like Adla Yoda? Adla Yoda, in a simple sense, it means to drink on Purim. So you can't tell the difference between blessed as Mordechai and cursed as Haman. So the obvious question is, what's the point of reaching such a state? Why should you want to be in a state where you don't know the difference between blessed Mordechai and cursed Summer? You think that Moshe Rabbeinu was Hitler Machshamay? I mean, the Chas V'Shalom Mahavli learned from Dawson Ketz. What's the point of reaching such a state? The explanation is, it's not that Hashem is asking us to reach a state where we're so confused that we don't know what's right and wrong. Rather, it's the opposite. Purim, the Simcha Purim, allows us to have a connection to all things which are good and holy, all things associated with Mordechai in a super rational way. Ordinarily, our mind says that Mordechai should be blessed and Haman should be cursed. That's what our mind says. So does our heart. But Purim allows us to reach a place of Ad Lo Yoda, beyond logic and reason. So it's not that based upon your mind and based upon your feelings, therefore you say blessed is Mordechai. Purim gives you the ability that even that which is beyond logic says that. So your conviction in blessed is Mordechai, conviction that all things, disavowing all things associated with Haman, is not just limited by logic. It's something which is beyond logic. So a moment ago, you could have been, you and Haman could have gotten along. Whatever. Yes, I don't mean the Chas V'Shalom getting along with Haman. I mean like the frigidity of Amalek and the doubts of Amalek and all the Oimik Tarchas, the lowest place that Rebbe is referring to. And yet now comes Purim, and immediately you're able to transport yourself and go Ad Lo Yoda, not beyond logical reason. And again, this is in every detail of Purim, and therefore doesn't need any preparations. That one said as a humorous remark in the middle of Fabrengen, he said that when he was in school, someone made a joke that lekach, that honey cake, is the same numerical equivalent as wine. Someone did a calculation, and he figured out that lekach and yayin weren't the same calculation. So he said, have some more lekach. Have more lekach, have more wine. Wine, have more lekach. So, right. So in a similar way, it's actually the numerical equivalent of Baruch Mordechai and Ar Haman is the same. Baruch Mordechai and Ar Haman both equal to 502, both the same gematria. So some say this means you have to realize that Baruch Mordechai and Ar Haman, you have to get so drunk that you can't tell the difference in calculating between that they're the same gematria. But that's not the simple translation. That's not the way it's translated in Halacha. And especially according to Kabbalah, Baruch Mordechai and Ar Haman are, if they had the same number, if both Mordechai and Haman, if both curses Mordechai and blessed be Haman, oh wow, I think I reached there already. If Baruch Mordechai and Ar Haman had the same number, they're both equal to 502. If they both equal to 502, that means that Kabbalistically they have the same energy. How could they have the same energy? Baruch Mordechai and Ar Haman, they're so different. And in one occasion, Rebbe explained that means to transform all those things of Ar Haman and transport them to Baruch Mordechai. But to take all those things which are negative and transform them to good. In ourselves, and all the things which are associated with where we shouldn't be, Tshuva transforms the Averis to mitzvahs, transform negative to positive. L'chaim, maybe she'll help him transform all the Ar Haman to Baruch Mordechai. And that's really the Purim is like Matan Torah. Matan Torah, what do we say when we got the Torah? We said, when God says, believe in God, what do we say? We said yes. When God said, don't kill. You know what we said when God said, don't kill?
Yes.
We said yes too. We said yes. According to Rabbi Akiva. According to Shmuel, we said no, but according to Rabbi Akiva, we said yes. Why? Because we felt when Hashem was giving us a Torah, not the specific details of what Hashem was asking us to do. We were feeling, this is the will of Hashem. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. Curses Haman, curses Haman. Doesn't. What did Hashem say? That's the place we're supposed to get to. So the listeners are just tuned in. Thank you.